The Battle Royale is a genre that's seen a lot of games in recent years, and each one appeals to a different audience. PUBG for the early adopters, Apex for the FPS fans, Warzone for the hackers, and Fortnite for everyone, apparently. But what is there for the cultured consumer of Japanese media such as myself?
Because I'm a hero! My hero! Ultra Rumble!
Is there anything else? Okay, I can work with this. I actually quite enjoy My Hero Academia. I think the world building and the creativity of the quirks are great. I might not like it as much as some people.
Attention everyone! Before we watch Dragon Ball Superhero, have to remind you who the world's greatest hero is. His name is All Might. One for all! Full Cowling! Detroit Smash!
But I still think it's a fun series. And since most of my recent anime game videos have revolved around Dragon Ball, I'd appreciate the break. But I'll be back soon enough. My Hero Ultra Rumble was developed by Viking, the same studio behind the My Heroes 1's Justice games and Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash. Released on September 28, 2023, Ultra Rumble was immediately polarizing to say the least, with the ratio of Steam reviews being roughly 1.6 positive reviews to every negative one. I think the ratio is probably closer to 1 to 1, considering a lot of the positive reviews are about All Might being based and cool, people mentioning Mount Lady's assets, and one person who really loves playing as his favourite hero, Seaman Toss. Personally, I found the first one's Justice a bit bland, and I really don't want to waste my money on the JJK game. But Ultra Rumble is free, so the only thing that I'm sacrificing is my time.
Let's get ready, let's get ready, let's get ready to rumble.
Just like other games in the Battle Royale genre, Ultra Rumble drops several teams of 3 players into a shrinking arena and they have to fight until only one team remains. But that's where the major similarities stop, as Ultra Rumble tries, keyword tries, to use its source material to stand out amongst its competition. Ultra Rumble is played from a third-person perspective, and it focuses on the unique abilities of each character. While character abilities are also a thing in Apex, there they act more like a supplement to the gunplay. Here they're the primary way you'll engage your opponents. Each character has 3 primary attacks, an ultimate attack, and passive skills and melee attacks for when their abilities are on cooldown. While this is an interesting premise, most characters only have one quirk in the series. Main characters like Midoriya, Todoroki and Bakugo will have more creative applications of their quirks in the source material that the game can pull from. Those first 2 essentially have multiple quirks. But when it comes to characters like Kirishima, whose whole thing is... it can be difficult to give them the same kind of creativity in their moveset. They can try, but in most cases it just boils down to nondescript slam or rush attack. Most characters also have a ranged attack for their primary fire, like Midoriya, Overhaul, and for some reason Mount Lady. Some more melee focused characters can be at a massive disadvantage if they're engaged at range. My Hero Academia is filled with interesting characters with varying power sets. You have Mirio, who can become intangible, Uraraka, who can alter the effects of gravity on herself, other people and objects, and Best Jeanist. The characters in Ultra Rumble are split into 5 classes: Assault, Strike, Rapid, Support, and Technical. Assault is the tank class, comprised of characters like Kirishima and All Might. Strike encompasses your DPS characters like Bakugo and Endeavor. Rapid characters like Ida and Mirio excel with mobility. Support characters can provide defensive backup and even instantly revive teammates. This class includes Overhaul and Cementos. And the technical class seems like the characters whose abilities are difficult to use but are busted when the proper time is invested to learn how to use them effectively. This includes characters like Aizawa and Toga. Since the series has such a huge cast, it's impossible to include everyone's favourite. The game currently has 33 characters as of this video, but 6 of these slots are occupied by duplicates of Midoriya, Bakugo, Todoroki, Shigaraki, Dabi, and Toga. I'm so sorry to the people in the Steam reviews who keep requesting Mirko. I'm surprised there's not a lot to visually differentiate between the same characters in different classes. Assault and Strike class Midoriyas have different attacks, strengths, weaknesses, and matchups, so your teamfight could potentially be over before you even know what you're up against. There are so many other characters that could be added to diversify the roster. Just off the top of my head, you could add Gran Torino to the Rapid class, Tokoyami to Assault, Shinso to Technical, and Midnight to the... Your attacks and other characteristics can be upgraded throughout a game with the use of skill cards. These are picked up from chests on the map and dropped by eliminated players alongside your basic health and shield potions. Personally, I think the cards are a bit much on top of everything else the game has going on. I end up running around with an inventory full of cards because telling them apart from each other is just a nightmare. Like I just said, there are skill upgrade cards, but these aren't too bad because you tend to use them instantly. Then there are the cards that give you a passive skill like an AoE healing pulse, attack, defense, or speed boost, and then there are also revival cards. My problem with the last few is that the only thing to differentiate them is a colour and a symbol, and it's difficult to learn those when you're new to the game, and deciding what to prioritise is difficult when you're getting chased by a map full of sweats. And speaking of cards, the revival system is just so cumbersome. You need to collect 3 revival cards to be able to bring a teammate back after they're eliminated. While some characters have an ability that lets them bypass this, the majority of the roster will need to use the cards. And in my own experience, I get killed pretty quickly because I'm just bad at the game. And then my teammates are left scrambling to revive me while I'm just sat there. It's nowhere near this tedious in other battle royales I've played. For example, Warzone gives you multiple options. You can buy your teammates back for the money you earn while playing, you can buy a self-revival kit, or you can earn a chance to respawn by winning in the gulag. I'm not saying there needs to be a My Hero gulag, it's just another option would be nice. Team fights are either fun and intense or an absolute clusterfuck of stun locks and visual effects. You know when you play Mario Kart and you get a really unlucky lap, where you're hit by the lightning ball, a red shell, a bullet bill, and end up falling off the map twice? Yeah, this feels like that on repeat. It's just pure chaos. One minute you're running around the map getting skill cards, and the next you've been kicked by Ida and juggled by super attacks until you're dead. Most characters aren't mobile enough to get themselves out of tough situations without support from teammates. While I was playing, I found that my view was often obstructed by the sparks flying off of people's attacks or actual structures like buildings and doorways. It's very easy to lose track of where you are or an opponent that you've been chasing. Something else that makes playing the game feel kind of unrewarding is the apparent lack of skill-based matchmaking. This isn't me complaining because I keep dying. I am dog shit at this game and I'm perfectly fine with that. Just match me up with other people who are also dog shit. My issue is that I'm constantly matched up with far more experienced players. They have a lot more game knowledge and access to characters who are objectively stronger than those available to brand new players. It makes it extremely difficult for new people to get good at the game because they're just going to join a match and get steamrolled as soon as they encounter another player. To the Todoroki that carried me to my only victory, thank you, and I'm sorry I was dragging you down for the entire game. It's such a shame because there are a lot of mechanics that have the potential to make the game so interesting. They're just buried beneath a layer of annoying bullshit. Like Aizawa being able to make an enemy unable to use their quirks, Mr. Compress being able to carry a down teammate to safety, Mount Lady becoming giant to act as a distraction for her teammates, and Kirishima becoming invulnerable to being staggered. The quirks from the series have been worked into the gameplay mechanics really well here, but the lack of skill-based matchmaking, the insanely short time to kill, and the hoops you need to jump through just to unlock characters makes it unlikely that you'll ever get to see or use these interesting mechanics. And while I'm on the topic of unlocking characters, when you first start playing Ultra Rumble, you only have access to 6 characters: Midoriya, Uraraka, Cementos, Mount Lady, Shigaraki, and Darby. You also get 1 character ticket when you start, so you're able to unlock a new character straight away. I used mine on Mirio, but now that I think about it, it might have been smarter to use it on the newest character this season. Outside of the free ticket, if you want to unlock your favourite character, I hope you either have incredible patience or access to a parent's credit card. You can get 6 more characters by completing the special license, which is pretty much this game's equivalent of a battle pass. Doing this is free, but it takes a lot of experience to level up, so it's quite the grind. There's another battle pass every season, but going off the current one, it doesn't actually give you any characters, even if you buy what they call the Pro license. You genuinely just get voice lines, costumes, and emotes for the characters you probably don't have. Another way to unlock characters is by rolling for them. That's right, it's a gacha game. For those of you who actually contribute to society, allow me to briefly explain what a gacha game actually is.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
Yeah, that's it. You spend in-game tickets to roll for random items. It's essentially a loot box. This is the primary way the developers want you to unlock characters, because when a new season starts, the brand new character they introduce can only be found through the gacha game. And the roll rates on these are abysmal. The chances of rolling a character range from 0.15 to 0.5%. Just to emphasize how insane this is, the chances of getting any character from the current Season 8 Aizawa and Ida roll is 1.6%. So while my house may have been repossessed, I got the green toga outfit. And the third way to unlock a character is by spending hero souls on character tickets. You get hero souls when you get duplicate items in the gacha roll. This is probably the easiest way to do this other than spending actual money on roll tickets. If you want to try out a character before buying them, you can spend rental tickets. You get 3 of these every few hours and they let you rent a character for a single game. But different characters have different costs, so you can either play 3 games as Todoroki or 1 as Nejire. And if you spend all your tickets renting the new character and get bodied as soon as the game starts, sorry brokey, You need to wait for more rental tickets. A recent addition to the game is the tuning system, which can be a bit difficult to understand since the game introduces it through a 23-slide PowerPoint.
Wow, that's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them.
It essentially lets you add passive abilities to a character's costume. Just to clarify, the costume, not the character. These perks include buffs to stats, abilities, reload speed, and busted skills like immediately cancelling any stun effects or filling your ultimate meter whenever you kill someone. Each individual costume in the game has different tuning slots, so All Might's blue alt colour skin will have different slots to his green one. So if you want to try and run a specific character build, you might need to wear a costume that you don't even like.
What do you mean the fit is not hard? You're just a hater.
And you need to get the skin by either spending hero souls, which you're likely saving to unlock a new character, or by rolling for it in the gacha game. People who've been playing the game since launch will naturally have access to more skins, especially those linked to limited time events. So if you're a long time player, it's a way to change up your playstyle and give you an advantage. If you're a new player, it makes the game incredibly unfair and almost impossible to get into. The tuning mechanic has been heavily criticised by the player base, with people saying it's taken the game from free to play to pay to win, and that it's essentially killed its ability to attract brand new players. If you want to know more about the tuning system, I'll put some links in the description to some Steam reviews and Reddit threads. They explain this a lot better than I do. I think that Ultra Rumble as a concept has a lot of potential. It's just a shame that it's railroaded by the extortionate amount of microtransactions, the insane barrier to entry for new players, the tuning system, and the developers trying everything under the sun to make an easy profit from a fanbase that just wants a good game for their franchise. 3 out of 10. An unbalanced shit show that tries to get players to spend their hard-earned money on predatory microtransactions just so that they can last long enough in a game to potentially have some fun.